Guess I'll stop fidgeting with my post-it notes.
No, you won't. Hi, everybody. I'm Groupie Twos, and this is John Mongrel. Because timing is key. For anybody joining us on Twitch or YouTube, or I don't know. I think that's the only two places I'm putting this just yet. You might or might not have noticed that we have been given a facelift. I have been honing my craft a little bit. No, I didn't. I figured out like one trick and made it pretty. That's all I did. But our screen, we've got everybody all separated and stuff. And speaking of everybody, this is them. All right, take it away.
Hi everyone. I'm Red. She, her, play Rook. Also she, her, half elf, high elf, drow, all the fun things. Yeah.
Hi everybody. I'm Jim. He, him, just like my character Eldaris, the Kalishtar sorcerer cleric, here to take a deep dive into the inner workings of the campaign.
Dun dun dun.
Hello, everybody. My name is Spencer. He, him, same as my beautiful character Butcher. Again, resident dope of the group, and rocking the gray streaks.
Dun dun dun. Ah. Oh.
Hey.
Hello, and I am the Dungeon Master of Denizens. We're here tonight to discuss each other's characters, the mysteries of them that we're allowed to up into this point in this story, and discuss the story as well. So does anyone want to have any questions they want to start with?
Yeah, where's your beanie? You're always wearing a beanie. You're not wearing a beanie tonight. It's throwing me off.
How dare you, sir?
Well, I cleaned up my head.
Oh, okay. It is very clean.
Yeah. Shiny. Shiny. Go on, you made questions.
Yeah, apparently
I have some too.
I get to be Jim Morrison, and I'm the only one that did my homework this time around. Or no, it was the guitarist. What was the guitarist's name? I don't remember. Anyway, it's a whole story. Go watch the movie. Yeah, so the first question that I did come up with is like the only one that's actually aimed at anybody. Jim.
What's up?
What about your backstory don't you know?
I don't know who specifically my enemies are. I generally know I generally know what they are and the forces that want to bring them about, but I don't like have a name. Like just to throw out a name simply, it's not like my arch rival is Vecna and I am dedicated to destroying Vecna. I don't have that. Okay. I just know, generally speaking, here's kind of what my enemy is, and here's what they want to do, and my job is to stop that. I know that they can talk to me. I know that they are the reason for a bunch of my suffering. That I don't know how deep I've gotten into, but before curtain up of the campaign, they're responsible for probably a lot of that.
So,
and
I guess that kind of leads into like, you know what's happened to you, but you discovered with us in that last session what they also might have been responsible for in the setting past. At the same time, like we were all watching it.
Yeah, I know I know enough to say, oh, they put a target on my back.
Okay.
I didn't know how deep how deep the rabbit hole went, so to speak, where it's okay, they know that I'm a threat to them. Oh, because their plan is they want Basetown gone.
I knew I was fighting a demon. I didn't know it was the devil.
Basically that's it. It's I knew I was fighting something, but I didn't know I'm fighting the big guys. And likewise, I didn't know that I might have a friend beyond the stars, so to speak. Which is why I was so cautious when we had someone like, "We just want to read your mind." Yeah, I don't like that idea.
No, do we think that's a friend though? I don't remember a lot of insight checks being thrown around.
I think it's the the closest thing I think I'm going to have to a friend behind the stars.
All right, I dig it.
Whether it's a simple case of I want the world to be saved because I still want to mess with it more, could be the case. But right now, that's more of an ally than I want to watch the city burn. So I'm not sure just yet, but I'm excited to find out more.
I will say there's an opportunity for an opposing friend, you know? The other side of that equation.
It's there's so many options. My character, even my character having a bit more of the background, knowing like at the very least, okay, these things are there. So when when a few sessions ago, and everyone's like, where is Eldaris? We need to find Eldaris. Like that whole, what the hell is going on? My character will be like, oh, I know I have an idea of the general in the very broad sense what's happening. I still don't know the specifics, so I don't know.
I'm glad somebody else got stuck with the chosen one, because I'm still hoping to eventually become the BBEG.
I just love that at least one of us actually has a, dedicated enemy. Because, Brooke's just hanging out doing her thing. I feel like that's the way, Butcher and Woodrow are, too.
Woodrow's got some stuff going on that we haven't really gotten near yet. You're playing shows. Butcher is living his best life in retirement right now.
Is there anything you, Jim, want to ask me about that plot line? Of course, I'll answer if I can. If I can't, then
Sounds like a divination spell.
I'm gonna.
Right?
Let me put a pin in that and think about it, because part of the fun, I think, because I could ask am I on the right track that this person's my friend, or that part of the fun, I think, is just watching it unfold and not necessarily knowing too much, because for all I know, I am being manipulated. Eldaris is ridiculously being manipulated by. It's like, congratulations, I gave you exactly what you would fear. The world you know is going to end, and you're playing right into my trap. Because without, and there's the smile that makes me say, "Oh no, am I right?" Because again, without going into too much stuff that we can reveal later, the conversation kind of hit a few sore spots for Eldaris, where this is someone who at the very least knows how to manipulate him if they wanted to. Not only are they playing on his fears, but just how they introduce themselves is really gonna sit with him more so than even, hey, the world's gonna end. Oh, by the way, here's who I am to you. That's gonna kind of wrench him a little bit. But
Okay.
I want to know if Rook is consistently at this point, y'all already knew this, but spoilers, Rook's constantly in a disguise. How did that lady know that she looked like her mom?
Hmm. Well, I didn't know that you were always in disguise.
Almost always.
Yeah, she hasn't, around this crew, and especially when she's performing, she hasn't dropped her disguise at all.
Okay.
So that might have just been a slip. But I was just curious if like she had like a like one of the true sites or whatever where you can see past people's disguises and stuff.
Well, she does now.
No.
Write that down.
I had thought that there was some
Wait,
degree.
This was the Baroness, right?
Yeah. There we go. I could not.
Yeah. True sight. Yeah. Most of the barony have like implants and stuff.
I would imagine that they would anyway. So
Yeah, because they've got to be watching out for assassins and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody want to roll a
But
d6?
we should probably at some point go over your disguises and your different looks again, so that I have a clear picture in my head.
Yeah.
Of what's
Oh,
going on
that
here.
means I have to have a clear picture. Damn it. Maybe work on my character.
This one, the hair is down. This one, the hair is up. This one, the hair is braided. There we go. We're on a roll. Keep it up.
This one's when I'm feeling the heavy metal. This one's a little bit more punk vibe, and this is folk.
Yeah. Because, like, I think the only time, and I don't know if any of the group was there for that, but the only time that Rook really kind of went as herself was at Temple Bar when she was playing, like, her chill music for a short time.
Now, even then, I think you kept the drow appearance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so as far as
she would
any
have
of us
basically
know in
looked full
character-
drow.
Right.
Yeah. She basically, I think that, because like this is something that even I like haven't necessarily fully rolled with, because it's like, it's just, it is what it is. And I think that's a fault of mine, is that I'm not that great at describing, like, because I don't want to describe what she looks like every day. But pretty much like when she's performing and stuff like that, she does present like full drow as opposed to like half high elf drow. So like she's got that more purpley lavender skin versus being a very pale lavender, borderline just kind of slightly off pastel, from being the mix of the two.
Oh, that was much better.
Okay.
I have a good question.
What you got?
So,
Well, I have. Go ahead. No.
oh, you sure?
What?
I was gonna say, you sure? We're about to talk, I could tell. Can you guys hear me? Am I delayed?
I hear you.
We hear you
Okay.
now.
Okay. So, yeah, I was gonna say, so like I drew inspiration from like a whole bunch of different sources with Butcher, which is like where the, fruity drinks, Hawaiian shirts, just little things come from that come with Butcher. And like I can list them for days, but I'm curious, like, what inspirations like did you guys take? Like, you sitting here playing a video game and you're like, holy shit, yeah, this is who I want like Rook to be. I want them to be, this person from this game, or like it shows just inspirations for you guys' characters.
So for Rook, the inspiration with her, it's a lot of characters that I've played before kind of rolled into one, but then with that bard twist. And actually, it's funny because Groupie was showing me a bard dragonborn image the other day, and it's so funny because I actually have a miniature that I absolutely love that is a bard dragonborn, and he's got like this actual axe that has been made into a guitar, and he's just all badass. And I was like, well, that's awesome. And then it was like, well, if they're gonna have that, then it has to be heavy metal. And I actually pulled inspiration from Arch Enemy's lead singer Alyssa White Ghouls. She was heavily inspired, like character design and stuff like that, 'cause she's just a badass lady of metal. And That's where Rook kind of came from. She's actually my third character that I've had named Rook because I absolutely love the name and I can't keep letting this idea of this character go.
Hence why I've been calling you Rook for like 4 years now.
Yep. It works.
For Woodrow, that inspiration started. Sometimes the character starts from the mechanics, and sometimes it starts from the character idea. And this one kind of happened a little bit at the same time. I had landed on really wanting to go Wizard Artificer once we decided that we were going to do this like high fantasy cyberpunk mashup, and I'm like, oh, I got to get the Artificer. Like I want to be into the tech of it. And then from there, the next thing was I need a grumpy old man. Because I have so much internal grumpy old man to me that I absolutely, like, I was missing that in the characters that I play in my other games. And I really needed something that I could sink comfortably into. and Woodrow kind of scratches that itch. And then I think once I landed on Gnome for the mechanical reasons, the instant mental image was Baron von Munchausen. I don't know if anybody here is a Terry Gilliam fan. Amazing movie, but it's based on like old stories. Gustave Doré did the illustrations for the publication like 100 years ago. But it's a very archetype sort of visual for this man that has just lived too long and done too much and is over your shit.
For me, when I had an idea originally for a character I wanted to play, but he didn't fit in with what we needed within the world too well. So I actually worked with George to develop the class and the race of my character. Once I had those down, I knew we needed a cleric. We had the sorcerer idea with the Eldritch Mind. I drew inspiration because at the time I was really starting to get into Warhammer 40k. I still want to be getting into 40k. The new rules are coming out, and I just don't have time nor patience and willpower to make sure my miniatures are just the way I want them. But I am a fan of the Eldari. So figure psychic elf whose whole, and if for the ones I play, their whole mission is the forces of chaos are evil. We must be constantly on the watch for the forces of chaos because they are coming to to take our souls.
Yep.
I just wrote that into Eldaris and just took out, hopefully, a lot of the arrogance of the Eldari to where maybe not, but just like kind of put that in of like, okay, now that I know what his real mission is, what's his day-to-day? And I kind of settled on the psychiatrist / therapist, trying to basically use his connections to see the people who are starting to go a little crazy and being able to say, okay, this is a mental illness. You need to go see an actual therapist or an actual professional. Or, oh, you've been making deals with like underhanded people. Great. Let me go investigate them and just have like come the day, he's, got his glasses. He's very, calm, very like, here's my card. Come talk to me. And at night, just, in the class, in his like vigilante costume, seeking down and hunting information, which he hasn't been able to do a terrible amount because they've been coming for him. So he's not seeking anything. He just needs to wait and see who's gonna, pick a number and get in line at this point. But I like him because I like the spin on having a character who I don't want to say is competent, but knows that they're not bad at what they do. The other two characters I really play, one of which I play with everybody besides Butcher, and the other one I play with just Rook and Genre, both have a little bit of that doubt about, am I really on the right path? One so more than the other. And I just wanted to play someone who's like, listen, at the end of the day, this guy knows what he's about, knows what his mission is, and he's going to follow that to the extreme, to the end. So it's, yeah, Ibukari's in danger. That's my goal. That's my mission. Screw everything. I think at one point I even said, if the city burns down because something happened to her, then I feel bad for the city. Which is funny now because now I have to try and save the city.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. There's always the denial in this circle of heroism. But I have a question for everyone. It's sort of about Ibukari. This all stems around that story plot. But I wanted to start with this. For everyone, how do you feel about the first quest being tied to a character and not having an expected reward out of it, besides that character being helpful? And I know that Rook has a relationship with Ibukari, but it's more like fan groupie. You go to a lot of concerts, you buy drinks, stuff like that. I don't think it was necessarily personal, but hopefully we work on that in future endeavor.
Personally, I like quests that are not necessarily quest reward. I like those kind of quests where it's like, we're all still just trying to figure each other out. We all just didn't randomly take up an assignment with someone and get thrown together. It's like we had all these ties to each other, which really helped, even if we didn't necessarily know each other. And then going out on that quest that kind of revolved around a character that was extremely important to one, somewhat important, also important, but not to the same degree to another. And then all of us kind of having our own motives and things within that too. Like, we still need to go back to that stupid safe. Those kind of things. I think it was helpful to really bring us together in a more meaningful way than just we're motivated by earning something.
I definitely like Rook was kind of alluding to with it wasn't a job board. There was no pay for the job to get done, and having it be a even character tied plot point for it to be finding Ibukari felt pretty natural and like something that we wanted to get done. I think it also helped that we all had like little side things going on around it. So like we were all still kind of like trying to get paid, but having that through line of the Ibukari storyline, I think gave a focus for everything to kind of revolve around.
I can say I base my character off a lot of people, but one of the main inspirations for it, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like Burn Notice, but there's a character called Sam Axe who's literally just a retired SEAL. He has no idea what to do with these skills he has, so he just attaches himself to the main character and does what he can to be helpful, but at the same time is probably one of the most waste of space when it comes to something that he's not good at. And I was like, that is such a fun idea for a character who's like, a martial character in a magic world, because it's like, oh, I hit stuff really hard. Okay, well, we don't need someone to hit stuff. I'll be at the bar. And like, I think that's that whole like sense of purpose. And like, don't get me wrong, I put accent in there for, if there needs to be a mission or something that I can hit something. But I feel like when I made Butcher, I intentionally made him like the character who's looking for people to help. Not because he's benevolent and wants to help. Like, he'll help somebody who's evil too. He just wants people who need him as much as he needs people to need him. Like, if that makes sense. And I think, like, running into this tiny little man who immediately runs up and comes to help the bad guys who just tried to rob him just piqued the interest a little bit too much. And to hear that, oh, my friend is missing, it's like, oh, perfect. This is exactly what I need right now. I need something to get me out of this retirement slump.
Got past that holiday kind of honeymoon phase of your retirement and is like, just fucking bored now.
What are you doing? A man is literally built as a death machine. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing he's better at than what he's doing right now. And he's finally having somebody actually, like, you know, obviously, like, we talked about Gage, but Gage doesn't come to his fights anymore. Like, she stopped doing that when she started being able to watch actual kaiju fight. So it's like, to finally have a group who's excited to see him win again, and to have people, like, supporting him even though he's really not in the best shape of his life, I feel like is a really fun character aspect, because it's not like Butcher needs a found family. But at the same time, to have another group of people who need him, it's just a really fun character concept, I think.
I'll be honest, I felt guilty when I saw how everything was going for the first episode, because I'm like, oh crap, it's my person. So like, oh darn it, great, I'm okay. I love the direction everyone like it was going in, but it was just knowing that the prompt I basically got, and reading all the background of where we are when the curtain rises, and it's Ibukari is missing. My character's whole thing was, okay, that's priority number 1, 2, and 3. Find a lead by any means necessary, and basically go at it like running my head against a brick wall. Eventually the brick wall is going to go through. And then just watching everyone be like, yeah, well, help is, I think Rook and I had a conversation in the game of like, listen, she's my friend too. I'm here to help you. And that's still puzzling. It's like, what, why? I understand why, but he's still like, why are you guys still like, we're all still here. He's almost, if he thinks about it, he's almost in awe that here are these strangers basically who are saying, yeah, we're going to help you fix your friend.